In this video, I'm going to show you how to crochet a simple hat. We start with making a slip knot. You cross over, go under the first loop, grab the second loop, and while holding your two strings, pull it through to make a slip knot. Now close your loop so that it's the size big enough for the size of your hook. The next thing you're going to do is chain 5. You put your needle through, yarn over, pull it through. That's 1. Yarn over, pull it through. 2. Yarn over, pull it through. 3. Yarn over, pull it through. 4. Yarn over, pull it through. 5. Now you have 5 chains. Next thing you're going to do is slip your last loop through the full first loop. You can see I just have that little guy in the back, and then pull the yarn through. We're going to start, this is the beginning of our magic circle. Just pull that right through, and there you have a circle. We're going to build our hat in rounds, starting with the first round of 12 double crochets into the middle of your ring. So yarn over, put your hook through the middle of your ring, grab your yarn in the back. You have 3 loops. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2. And there you did it, your first double crochet stitch. I use a stitch marker to mark my spot so that I know which is my first stitch. Okay, next stitch. Same thing, yarn over, put your hook through the middle, grab your yarn, you got your 3 loops. Yarn over, put it through the first 2 loops, yarn over, next 2 loops. And now you're on your second stitch. Keep going. Yarn over, put your hook through the middle of the ring, grab your yarn in the back, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2. You're going to continue like this until you get to 12 stitches, and I'll meet you there. Sometimes I lose count and I can just go back and count the V's along the top to see how many stitches I've made. In the beginning, it's really important that you have exactly 12 stitches, so I always double count them before moving on. Now, close your round with a slip stitch. Put it into that first loop, hook up your yarn, pull it through, and pull it through again, and tighten in the back. Now you're going to see why this is called the magic ring. See that big circle in the middle, that open space? You're going to take your tail and pull it to close up that space, because that's going to be the top of your hat and you don't want to get a draft in there. Now we start our second round. You always start each round with 2 chain stitches. So that's 1, 2, counts as 1 stitch. Then you're going to double crochet into that same position. The first one can be tricky. You see I went right underneath where my place marker is. And that counts as 2 stitches. We're going to do 24 all around, which means 2 double crochets in each spot along your ring. You can take out your placeholder now. So here we go. Yarn over, You got your 3 loops, yarn over, pull it through the first 2, pull it through the next 2. Now you're going to see I'm going to go right into that same place. Yarn over, pull it through, 3 loops, pull it through the 2, pull it through the 2. So there I have 4. Yarn over, pull it through, 3 loops, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull it through. That's 5. Now you'll see I make a mistake here. I go right to my next chain, but that's the thing I love about crochet. It's so easy to fix. I just take out that stitch, reorient myself, and put the stitch in the right place, which is right next to the one I just did. So go all the way around until you have 2 double crochets in every loop for a total of 24 double crochets. I'll meet you there. Here we are at the end of our second round. You see I'm finishing up the last few for a total of 24. The beginning and the end are the trickiest because you have to know where to stop. So you see this is the last 24th stitch, and then there's a space, but you don't crochet in there. That's actually part of your first crochet. So now you're going to do a slip stitch to connect. You can either put it through that hole or actually in the stitch. I prefer in the stitch. It lays flatter. And there you are. You finished 2 rounds. And off to our third round with a double chain. The pattern for round 3 is going to be 1 double crochet in 1 stitch, next stitch, 2 double crochets in the same stitch. So you see I'm doing 2 in this stitch. Next stitch, back to 1 double crochet. So there's 1, and then there's 2. Now I'm going to do 1 in the next stitch. And after that, I'm going to do 2 double crochets in the same stitch. So the pattern is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, all the way around for 36 stitches. I'll meet you there. Okay, here we are at the end of our third round. I'm just finishing up the last stitch 35 and stitch 36. Again, the ending can be tricky. Remember that you do not crochet in the spot where the first crochet goes, but now we're going to connect with a slip stitch. Again, push your needle in, grab the loop, and just grab it through. And there you are, 3 rounds. Now you can go back and double check, look at your stitches. So I see I have 1, 2, 1, 2, all the way around. And now we're ready for round 4. We're starting round 4 with a 2 chain, which counts as our first stitch. And the pattern in round 4 is going to be 1 double crochet in 1 stitch, 1 double crochet in the next stitch, 2 double crochet in the next stitch in the same stitch. So 1, 1, 2 double crochet, 1, 1, 2. Going all the way around for 48 stitches. I'll see you at the end. We've made it to the end of our 4th round. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're moving on to 5. Slip stitch to connect your round and chain 2 to begin round 5. After the chain 2, you're going to start the pattern of 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet in the same stitch. So here I have 1, 1, 1. And I'm going to put 2 double crochets in this next stitch. You're going to do a total of 60 stitches, and I'll meet you at the end. We've reached the final few stitches of round 5. We're going to slip stitch to close the round. After the 5th round, you'll measure the diameter of your circle so you can use the last growth round to get to the right size. Round 6 can be confusing because it depends on what weight your yarn is for which pattern you'll make. I'm using yarn weight 5, which is bulky. So in round 6, I'm going to do 9 double crochets followed by 2 double crochets in the 10th stitch. If you're using yarn weight 4, you're going to do a different pattern, which is 4 double crochets followed by 2 double crochets in the 5th stitch. Repeat that again, 4 double crochets followed by 2 double crochets in the 10th stitch, and then 9 double crochets followed by 2 double crochets in the 20th stitch, and then repeat that all around. You've connected round 6 and the hard part is over. Now you chain 2 to go to the next round, and for the rest of the hat, you do a double crochet in each stitch, around and around and around until you get to somewhere between 17 to 20 rounds. Once you've mastered your basic beanie, you can embellish to your heart's content. Here I've made an E for my daughter Emily. Here's another hat where I've added ear covers and braids, as well as made little hearts in the middle with 2 colors and a pom-pom. Here's another example where I've used 3 colors and I made a rose out of crochet. She likes the ears and the braids. Here's another example where I've added ribbing at the end. This is a more advanced stitch, but just to show you all the things that you could do with this basic pattern. I even made a tiny little crochet hat for Barbies. Changing colors is one of the best ways to get creative with your work. You can change the colors anywhere in your pattern. This is the easiest when you're going to the next round. So you see I've done the slip stitch with the green, and now all I'm doing is chaining 2 with the red right into my slip stitch. To keep my work neat, I'm actually putting the green behind the red so that I can come back very easily to the green, but it's out of my way and I don't have yarn on the inside of my work. Another thing I do to keep my work organized is actually crochet the tail right into the chains. So here I'm doing my first double crochet, and you can see that the tail is just being weaved right in. That avoids you having to clean up your work later or kind of messy yarn in the inside of your hat. So I'm just doing the double crochets. I'm on round 7, so it's 1 in each stitch. Here I'm almost done. And I've weaved in my tail, and now I just cut the rest. Super simple and a great way to make your work beautiful.